So this next mini lesson is going to be on something that we see often as teachers, and it's when you guys have run-on sentences. And run-on sentences are exactly what they sound like. They are sentences that go on and on and on, and they don't ever stop. I have read a paper more than once when the student did not use a period at all. This is a period. This is your friend. If your paper does not have lots of these, you have a really big run-on sentence. So we're going to use some periods and maybe some commas. Now, I could go on and tell you that a complete sentence has a subject and a predicate. A subject is a person, place, thing, or idea, and a predicate is a verb or an action. So a person needs to do something for it to be a complete sentence. But without going into this very long grammatical lesson on run-on sentences, I'm going to give you a couple tips to get close to a perfect paper. And maybe you can get rid of most of your run-on sentences with this little trick. Okay, so you can take a picture of this if you need to. There are a couple of things that you need to look for when you're trying to figure out if you have a run-on sentence. One, look for your subjects. If your sentence shifts from subject to subject to subject, so he said, and then she did, and then she went to this, and then they went there, and then the dog went, like, if you have subject, you probably have a run-on sentence. So when you're looking for subjects, decide if your subject has an action. If your subject has an action, and then there's another subject, no period, you probably have a run-on sentence. Look for the word and. And the word and is a conjunction. It brings two sentences together. So if you have an and an and an and and no commas, you probably have a run-on sentence. And then finally, when you're reading your narrative out loud, pay attention to when you have to breathe. Pay attention to when you naturally stop. If there is a pause, it's probably because there needs to be a period, or at least a comma. Or if you're reading and reading and reading and reading and you're running out of breath because you don't have a period yet, you probably have a run-on sentence. So I'm going to give you one example of how to fix it. Okay. So I'm going to read the sentence on the left. That night that everything happened, I was in my bedroom listening to music, and my mom came in and opened up the door, and she wanted to know where my brother was. I told her, but I didn't want to because I knew that she would be mad, and I was right because her face immediately changed from my sweet, calm mommy to a scary monster that would 100% scare the hair off your back. Okay. Total run-on sentence, no periods. And it violated the 3 rules, okay? There were lots of subjects. That night that everything happened, I was in my bedroom listening to music, and my mom came in and opened the door, and she wanted to know where my brother was. I told her, but I didn't want to because I knew that she would be mad. I was right, okay? Lots of subjects. Also, the word and my mom came in and opened the door, and she wanted to know where my brother is, okay? And I was right. So that's the second thing. Third, I struggled to say that whole thing without stopping. I needed to take a breath. So what we're going to do is we're going to read it again. This is the same sentence, but now we are going to take those 3 steps. The first step. That night that everything happened, I was in my bedroom listening to music, and my mom came in and opened the door, and she wanted to know where my brother. Okay, let's stop. That night that everything happened, I was in my bedroom listening to music, and my mom came in and opened the door. So I can take out this and I'm going to put a period. happened. I was in my bedroom listening to music. What were you doing? You were doing the action of listening to music. That is a complete sentence. Now I see another subject, my mom. This is the beginning of a new sentence, so I'm going to capitalize it. My mom came in and opened the door and she wanted to know. Oh, there's the word and. My mom, and she wanted to know. Okay, so this is a subject and this is a subject. So you have two choices here. My mom came in and opened the door and she wanted to know where my brother was. Now, even though this is a subject and this is a subject, it's the same subject. This is a compound sentence. My mom came in and opened the door and she wanted to know where my brother was. So I'm going to put a comma. Now I need to put a period. Remember the period? It is your friend. I told her, there we have our new subject. And what did the subject do? Told her, but I didn't want to because I knew that she would be mad. Okay, so we have that same choice. I told her, subject, but I didn't want to because I knew she would be mad. This is a compound sentence with a conjunction. Our two choices are to take out the word but and put a period, or I told her, comma, but I didn't want to because I knew that she would be mad. Here's the word and again, and there's another subject. Period. I was right because her face immediately changed from my sweet, calm mommy to a scary monster that would 100% scare the hair off of your back. Okay, now let's see if I have to take a dying breath because my sentence is so flippin' long. That night that everything happened, I was in my bedroom listening to music. My mom came in and opened the door and she wanted to know where my brother was. I told her, but I didn't want to because I knew that she would be mad. I was right because her face immediately changed from my sweet, calm mommy to a scary monster that would 100% scare the hair off your back. Okay, much better. So, just to review, that was an incredibly long run-on sentence. I looked at three things. I looked for subjects, I looked for the word and I looked to see if I needed to take breaths. If you need to stop and take a breath when there is not a comma or there is not a period, you probably need some form of punctuation there. Now, I was dramatic when I read it the second time, but you get the hint. I was able to take a breath, there was a comma or a period, and it gave me time to absorb the sentence and not feel like I was running on and on and on and on. All right, so start with these three tips. You might be able to get rid of some of those run-on sentences.